Welcome. Through this week and throughout next week, of course, News Central TV has its eyes on River State and on Politics HQ and across programming on this station. Like we always say, you'll be served with interviews and analysis by key players in the politics of River State. Our guest tonight is a politician, is a writer, and an author, and indeed a man of many endeavors. He is a founding member of the All Progressives Congress in River State. He led the local organizing committee for the All Progressives Congress presidential campaign. He's a former chairman of the Caretaker Committee of one of the largest local governments in Nigeria, the Obiakpo local government area. And he was, very notably, chief of staff at the government house, Port Harcourt, when Rotimi Amaechi was governor. Our guest tonight on Politics HQ currently serves as chairman of the Caretaker Committee of the All Progressives Congress in River State. I'd like to say that he is Chief Tony Okocha, and he joins us live from the city of Port Harcourt to discuss the ongoing political conflict in River State. Thanks for joining us, Chief Okocha. Good evening to you.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure. All
right. There seemed to have been, Chief Okocha, a certain calmness for some time, in the politics of River State. After the Abuja meeting, we all saw what happened. What led to this latest episode where we've seen a turn for the worse in the political conflict in River State?
Well, the answer clearly and truthfully too is the fact that His Excellency the Governor orchestrates, he fuels, he is the one who funds the problem in the state because we had a meeting with Mr. President at the behest of every other person that's in River State who had one misgiving or the other, because the state was almost going aflame. And Mr. President, out of his very busy schedules, invited the stakeholders of the state and took his time, counseled us as a family. And I'll tell you how dispassionate the president was that day. The president did not allow any pressman in. He did not allow any security personnel into that environment, so that the environment we discussed was very serene, very comfortable, very, very congenial. There was not even the least iota of what people call pressure from anybody. No. Now, the president took his time, counseled the Rivers people, and told us that for this democracy that he fought hard, that he will do everything humanly possible to protect and defend it. And we were all very amazed, pleasantly amazed. And after the counseling, the president came out. Of course, it's like a meeting or some kind of seminar or what is this thing again, that when you necessarily would churn out a communique. Now, that was like a communique. The president said, well, I have read through all the concerns. I have read through all the issues in the state. Now, having done that, we will not, belabor the matter. Let us now discuss what it is. And then the president brought out an 8-point, document, and that's what we call it presidential proclamation document. And when he brought that document out, he handed over that document to the former governor of River State, His Excellency Dr. Peter Odili, who was in that delegation too. Now, the former governor of River State, don't forget, was governor of River State when the president now was governor of Lagos State. And so he gave him the script to read. After every point that were contained in that document, the president will interject and say, is that what you agreed? All of us in that room will echo yes, that's what we agreed. You will be wondering, I don't know how many minutes this program will last, you'll be wondering why some of us were in that meeting. I lead the APC in River State. And then at that point, I was supposed to be an amicus. An amicus is a friend of the state or a friend of anything that he believes. because the argument then was between PDP, two PDP families, okay, torn apart, so to speak. But because the president felt that the problem in issue was beyond party, it was a problem that was going to tear the state apart. Of course, you would have seen on television where the governor supposedly or believedly was said he was walking to the assembly complex that was, put on fire. And that while he was going there, he also alleged that he was shot at by policemen. And when he returned back, he called, he addressed the press and told the whole world that his job was on the line. Now, all of these are indicators to violence. All of these are indicators to anarchy. And of course, that is the reason why the president, took his time out to address Rivers people, at least to mitigate, at least to assuage an ugly scenario.
All right.
Okay?
Okay. But Chief Okocha, at some point, things seem to be, moving smoothly. Of course, there was nothing like impeachment. But you called a press conference where you called on the APC members of the River State House of Assembly, as led by Right Honorable Magnus Abe, to begin impeachment proceedings on Fubara, which seemed to go against the Abuja agreement. Why did he do that?
Yeah, don't forget that the Abuja agreement was sometime in December. That was when that decision was reached. Okay, and between December and May, 5 months would have lapsed. The truth of the matter is that, the governor flagrantly refused to follow hook, line, and sinker all the decisions reached on that document. Now, the part of it was the fact that the president said in the 6th, if I remember vividly, that the governor should return back to a legitimate assembly headed by Right Honorable Magnus Abe to represent the budget of the state. That it was an abnormal for a governor to present the budget to 4 members of an assembly. That has not been done. The president in the 8th said that no other nomenclature will be accepted in the local government arrangement. That whatever that will be happening in River State on the local government arrangement will be elected officers of the council. That has not been done. But I can tell you a thing, in Index 2, which was in fact the crux of the matter, Index 2, the president directed that the House of Assembly members should drop all impeachment processes that they had already initiated. And the assembly, the next other day after that meeting, came back to River State, convened a special session, and dropped all the processes they had already initiated. All the issues they had espoused, the reason for the impeachment of the governor, they dropped. So one would have thought that it was going to be a win-win. There would have been a relationship. But the governor carried on. And I said to you that immediately after we returned back from Abuja, a lot of other narratives, some trajectories started coming in, including some who were in that meeting, said that the governor signed the document under duress. Some say, oh, he didn't sign. If he signed, he would have signed on red biro. And so forth and so on. And then the governor again wakes up to say that those decisions taken at that point were not political, were not constitutional decisions, but that they were political. But he also forgot that carrying that appellation, His Excellency, also puts on him some responsibility. You had assented to a document, and you come and turn around to say, oh, that document is XYZ. With the moment you put your signature to a document, it binds on you. Now, the whole gamut of this of the issue is the fact that the governor had broken the laws irredeemably. He goes ahead to say that assembly members are non-existent. In other words, he propounded a new theory in Nigeria where you have only the executive and the judiciary as organs of government. And he does not even... Now, there are judgments on these issues. Okay? Now, the judgments are clear. Those judgments are very clear, and the governor was a party, or state government was party to those judgments. He's breaking them flagrantly. And so I am a student of Franz Fanon. Franz Fanon will always tell you that when there is in a state of anarchy, it is illegal to be law-abiding. The laws here are broken down, and to that extent, the River State has become a laughingstock. And we will not watch as the leader of the opposition political party in River State. We will not sit down and watch to see the states become a laughingstock. A state that was very invariable, a state that people liked. By the inactivity of a governor, the state is derailing into what I call a bull in a china shop.
All right.
So we felt we should. The next other thing to do is to act him up. I mean, impeachment. Kofi, listen, please. Impeachment is not a coup d'etat. Impeachment follows processes. If you commit impeachable offenses, you will go. So we didn't go out of the law. We said, as members, this man has committed impeachable offenses. Go ahead and impeach him. So it's not that's.
Okay. Chief, we'll come back to this question because I know that your press conference came not long after a meeting that the governor held with a delegation from Bayelsa State where he made certain statements. I want to also find out if that played a role in what you directed at the press conference you organized. But for those of you watching, we'll be right back with more on Politics HQ. Please stay with us. All right, welcome back. It's still Politics HQ right here on News Central TV. We're still talking with Chief Tony Okocha, who is the Caretaker Chairman of the All Progressive Congress in Rivers State. And Chief, if the lighting is too bright, you can go ahead with the glasses so that you can protect your eyes if so needs be. But for those of you watching in News Central on News Central TV, we've been ongoing with our coverage of the political situation in Rivers State and trying to keep things as balanced as we can. And of course, we've been speaking with various stakeholders all through last week to this week, not just on Politics HQ, but on different programs like The Breakfast, on our news analysis and all that. Now, Chief Okocha, let's talk about this visit to Governor Fubara by some political leaders from Bayelsa State, the likes of Henry Seriake Dixon and co., where the governor made a statement. He said that the River State House of Assembly does not exist. Do you think that visit helped the situation or made it worse? And do you think that may have been a turning point? Maybe that meeting even probably emboldened the governor to make such a statement?
Well, I wouldn't condemn that meeting because of very highly venerated gentlemen that were in that meeting. The governor, military administrator of Rivers State, first military administrator of Rivers State, His Majesty Delta Spiff was in that delegation, and the former governor of Bayelsa State, who was again a serving senator of the Federal Republic. They visited with the governor for obvious reasons. I'm not in government. I don't know the reason why they did. But from what they said to us, or what the press reported, I'm told that they came to plead with the governor to find means and ways of how to make peace, in the state. But it was like an opportunity for the governor to adbust when in a meeting that had come to beg you to say, look, let us see what we can do to make peace in the state. You take on everybody else. Don't forget that even it was in that meeting that the governor said that Rivers State does not have elders and leaders. That whoever qualifies as leader of Rivers State is determined by the number of the amount of money you have in your pocket. In other words, it's like horse trading. Who pays more is where the leaders will go. And so that they have lost the moral imperative to call anybody together to a truce. And I will not sit down and watch that kind of thing happen. That is uncomplimentary. It is a slap on the faces of Rivers people. The same meeting was where the governor said that the House of Representatives, the House of Assembly of Rivers State, does not exist. I don't know when the governor became a Daniel seated in judgment, because the matter in issue is before the courts of competent jurisdiction.
Yeah. Chief Okocha, just following up on that. Yeah, just following up on that. Today, another Bayelsan, former President Goodluck Jonathan, was with Governor Fubara to flag up the construction of the Trans Kalabari road project, which is a major project in Rivers State. He's also from Bayelsa State. Seraki Dixon has been visiting with some Niger Delta leaders, the likes of, well, I can't remember the name, but as far as you're concerned, with all these activities coming from Bayelsa State and other parts of the Niger Delta, do you think that the tide of opinion is slowly swinging in the favor of Governor Fubara and against Nyesom Wike?
No, that's completely away and far from it. See, one thing I do not want to introduce here, one thing I do not want to say on air, even though I see the traces, there are indices, there are variables that point to them, is the fact of ethnic jingoism. If you watch and follow the governor, you will find a situation where he latches on his ethnic nation because, a jaw and all that. But at the point that he was being selected, at the point that he was chosen to be the candidate of a party, and of course, that he later now becomes the governor of Rivers State, no consideration of either a jaw or no a jaw was in the fore. All right? So I don't want to join him.
But so when you say the governor is flaring up these,
I'm not a chauvinist.
Do you have specific examples where the governor has, played up this ethnic aspect of things, be it Ijaw or no Ijaw? Can you tell us some more about that?
No, in a plethora of cases. In fact, it's not like he's even doing it indirectly. He pronounces it. He sings it. He says, "Look, I'm an Ejo man." Who said Opobo is not Ejo? I'm an Ejo man. Ejo people are not known to be fearful people. So what are we talking about here? And all that he is doing, all his body language, and all his antics as we speak now, all suggest the fact that he latches and he believes that, look, I will promote ethnic division. And that will not fly in the state because it will not work. It does not bring progress, or it will never bring development in Rivers State. All right? So it was at that opportunity that he got that he was emboldened to say this and S and all of that. And we cannot see that happen. It is an absurd that a governor of a state will deride the state, derogate the state by telling the world that the state has no leaders. See, my friend Battles, I have told my friends even today in an event that the office of the governor is highly revered and venerated because I'm aware of the powers that inhere in that office. But I am duty bound to therefore respect the office of the governor. But I am not duty bound to respect the person who sits in that office to the extent that the person begins to behave like an insane person, or the person begins to become a lawbreaker instead of a law upholder. That is the difference. Okay? So for the governor of a state who ought to be a synonym of excellence, so go the way he is going and talk the way he is talking, it's dangerous. The other day, I'm sure maybe you will get there. The governor has said that jungle has matured. I don't understand what he means by jungle has matured.
Well, at that event where he said the jungle has matured, that was when the new Attorney General of Rivers State was and Commissioner for Justice was sworn in. And at that swearing in, the governor announced that he will probe the past administrations in the state. Some feel that is specifically targeted at the Nyesom Wike administration's 8 years as governor of Rivers State. Is this probe a welcome development to you?
Yes. Man, probe is a welcome development as far as I'm concerned. When you serve out your time on a particular office, you make yourself available for whatever questions that will come thereafter or therefrom. So I don't see anything negative about probe. But again, if it is not stemming from the intention to witch hunt, when it stems from the point of witch hunting, then it's no longer probe. But let me say this. Let me say this now. Now, the governor talks about the probe of governance. And I want to put on record that he didn't talk about Rivers State. I caught him that slack. He didn't call the government of his predecessor, yes, on weekend. He said probe of governance in Rivers State. And I have written many times. I have appeared on televisions and radio stations to tell the governor that we welcome that development. Rivers people want to know what has happened to governance in the state over the years. But he is aware, the same governor is aware, that there is a perpetual order of injunction procured under Governor Odili that it stops EFCC from investigating the affairs of the state. So I have begged him, I have pleaded with him, we are game. Please go and apply to vacate that order so that every other person else who was governor of the state will be able to face the EFCC investigation.
All right, Chief Okocha.
Now, if you set up a panel or you set up an inquiry, whatever, or you set up a committee, whatever nomenclature you give. Yeah, whatever nomenclature you give, you are the one appointing, you are the appointer. So how can anybody say that you are going to be neutral? You are not going to influence the outcome of a committee that you have set up. Who does that? Who can say so? In our time, under Amaechi, I recall I was chief of staff, we had the Assure committee. Did it absorb Odili? The answer is no. We can have a committee or a panel or whatever called that investigated. Did Amaechi come unscathed? The answer is no. Because the committee members carry the brief of the appointer. So the only way the probe would be seen to be clean is to get somebody or a group that is independent.
All right. We'll talk some more about this when we come back from our break. Chief Tony Okocha, please stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Continuing our conversation with the Caretaker Chairman of the All Progressives Congress in Rivers State, Chief Anthony Okocha, who joins us live from Port Harcourt, the Rivers State capital. Now, Chief Anthony Okocha, you were talking about the perpetual injunction against the investigation of the government of Rivers State right from the days of Peter Odili. That's an order of court. But one will think that as acting chairman of the opposition party in Rivers State, the All Progressives Congress, that you will be championing the probe by a PDP governor of a former PDP governor. So why are you not championing and saying, yes, it must go ahead, but instead reminding us of the perpetual injunction?
No, I'm told you here that anybody who serves out a tenure in an office that is answerable to the people, and is anti or against probe, the person is already culpable or guilty as charged. Okay, so like I said to you, and I want to say to Nigerians that anything probe, for me, is a very decent thing to do. But when it is about witch hunt, political witch hunt, then it becomes nonsensical. Now we're saying that the governor is basking in the euphoria of immunity clause. What if the panel he sets up to probe anybody, so to speak, comes out to the panel, or stands before the panel, and makes statements or assertions that will indict the governor one way or the other? Will he be able to come back knowing that he has immunity? Will he be able to present himself for that probe? The other thing again is that I do not also know how the governor today, if his intention is to probe the immediate past governor, how he can possibly absolve himself from complicities He was Director of Finance and Administration, Government House, that's DFA. He was Permanent Secretary in charge of Finance, Government House. He was Accountant General of the state. And he's talking about financial malfeasance. So how will he, be completely absorbed? Either one way or the other, his name will be mentioned. When his name is mentioned before a panel, will he attend? Will he present himself? So, not a problem. Let him go and vacate the order. It is within his powers to do so. He wants to show the world how sanctimonious he is. He wants to prove that he's a Puritan. Not a problem. I'm game.
But Chief, it seems that you're opposing. You sound like you're opposing the move by the governor. That's why I asked. Some would expect that since you are in the opposition in the River State, that you be championing, even lay the red carpet for the governor to do this, and call on former administrations in the state, who are PDP, to present themselves.
No, that we're saying the same thing. I say I like probe. I welcome the governor and his intention to probe governance in River State. But that to be able to get it and get it right, we need to have an independent body that will do the investigation. And as it were today, as we stand today, EFCC is stopped by a court order procured by His Excellency the former governor of River State from investigating any activity of government of River State. So when anybody is pushed through, we need to investigate you and all that, they will latch on the order of the court. So how can anyone now begin to contemplate probe? I am saying that we support probe as a party, but let the governor vacate the impediment. The impediment is that there is a perpetual court order that was secured or that was procured that puts everybody else away from proper probe. This other probe they are talking about right now, I have seen, and it is clear. See even the ground upon which it came, you will see animosity. You will see witch hunt, political witch hunt, because maybe you are estranged somewhat with your former boss, and you think that the other thing to do is to ridicule him by one way or the other. I said, I don't care. I have said that I've served in offices. I'm serving in NDDC. At the end of my 4 years tenure, by the special grace of God, I will feel so comfortable. I will feel so strong. I will feel so sure to present myself before any probe. I should be able to give account of what I did while I was in office.
All right.
It's not rocket science.
Okay, so you said that there's a hint of witch hunt here, but you are in the APC, and the question I'm asking is, it should be a thing of joy to you to see the PDP is probing itself, and the APC, you are standing on the sidelines. But I want you to just comment on what's some of the insinuations out there, by one or two people. Some people are insinuating that the FCT minister controls the APC in River State. Is there any truth to this?
Please, I don't understand. These are, I'm happy that you said speculations. Yes. Anybody can speculate anything. It is within the rights of any individual to speculate whatever the person wants to speculate. Now, what we are saying here will be that there should be either logical or empirical evidence to show that the minister, who is a member of the People's Democratic Party, not just a member in person, a very vocal member of the People's Democratic Party. In fact, since 1999, he had never shifted grounds. Even when I, leading the APC in this state, was beckoning on him to say, please come over to Mr. Daniel and help us. He refused. He's still a member of PDP. Didn't Nigerians see him on television or attend the next meeting of the People's Democratic Party? Did anybody chase him away? So how can he be a member, the leader in PDP, and also be leader in APC? People are just speculating. The truth of the matter is that APC is cut apart. Fortunately, maybe the relationship that I see between APC and the minister, so to speak, is that he serves in the government of APC, the renewed hope mantra of Mr. President. So is anybody expecting him to be diametrically opposed to the party? But if it's about the structure of the party, he has no hand in the structure of APC.
So who is the Chief Tony Okocha? So who is the leader?
That's what it should be.
Yeah, Chief Tony Okocha, who is the leader of the All Progressives Congress in Rivers State? Therefore,
well, I know that you are not an armchair journalist. I know that you are an investigative journalist. I know you battles when you were here. Okay, you're a very critical journalist. I will leave you to that answer. Now you have access to the national chairman of the party, the APC. You will have access to the national secretariat of the APC. I mean, you could avail yourself that opportunity to find out from them who the leader of APC River State is today. But just in case you'd like to hear, the chairman of the All Progressives Congress today, Chief Tony Okocha, Knight of the Order of St. Christopher, Distinguished Service Star of River State and Justice of the Peace, is also the leader of the party. It was so proclaimed by the national chairman of our party the day he inaugurated the 7-man caretaker committee of the APC in River State. Let me say again to anybody that wants to listen, leadership of a political party is not anybody's birthright. It's not anybody's birthright. It's about what you can bring or what you have brought to the table. Here, seated, let me blow my trumpet for once. I broached the Tinubu's election in River State. I was the one and my group that wooed people to come over to Macedonia to help us. And we didn't hide it. We were on television, on radio, and we were writing every other day on the matter. So if we are to talk about the people who midwifed the victory, the genes-breaking victory of APC in River State, I was the leader. Okay? So I don't know who else, maybe who had been minister, or who had been senator, or who had been what?
What about the man in Chief Okocha? What about the man in whose administration you served as a chief of staff?
About what you bring to the table. I do not even know whether he's still a member of a party. I don't know.
That's talking about Chief
Even if he
Amaechi.
was, or even if he's a member of a party, as we speak today, I don't know whether he's still a member of a party, because he had long adjudicated, he had long left the scene. Of course, you remember that very recently he had gone to law school and he has a law degree now. So for the period he was in law school and doing law courses,
all right,
he wasn't playing politics.
So are you saying, Chief Okocha, that you don't know? You're saying you don't know if
President emerged.
Yes, you're saying you do not know. You're not aware if Rotimi Amaechi is still a member of the All Progressives Congress.
Yes, I do not know. It's, membership or belongation to associations or political parties is voluntary. But I know that for the time I have sat on this rostrum, I can't be sure. I don't know.
What about Tony Okocha?
Activities in the party is just not nowhere to be found. What about who?
Tony Okocha, the governorship candidate of the party in the last election.
Did you say Tony Okocha?
Yes.
I didn't know about. I didn't also know that he was candidate of our political party for governorship. I didn't know that. The reason why I say I am not aware of that is that I have said many times, and nobody has been able to openly controvert me. I said, if you are a candidate of a political party, and you are a governorship candidate of a political party, and you have a presidential candidate of the same political party, and in all their sojourn, all their travels from local government 1 to local government 23, you never mention the man's name in your campaign. you never had any banner or poster that you shared with the man as candidate. And that it is true that on the 25th of February, when the presidential election held in Rivers State, he didn't vote for Mr. President, or rather he voted against Mr. President. So how do I reckon with that? How do I also take that person as a party member? I wouldn't.
All right. We're aware that Magnus Abe, Senator Magnus Abe has said that he's back in the APC. He's also said that he's willing to work with yourself and the Minister of the FCT, Yeson Wike, to move Rivers State forward. What is your reply to Magnus Abe making that approach to you?
Well, Magnus is an egghead, politically, intellectually, and otherwise. He is. We must give it to him. Now, he may not have won the governorship election that he has attempted 3 times. But it doesn't take away the fact that he has structures across the length and breadth of Rivers State, the 23 local government areas. He was a founding member of the All Progressives Congress. I can assert that clearly, and if we had time, I will give you blow for blow his roles at the formative stage of a party in the states, at least. Okay? So he also followed the party until this last 2023, when he felt he needed to ventilate his governorship ambition. And felt, look, I'm not able to get it because the roads were blocked in APC. And so he felt he can get that through another political party. So he left the party and went for SDP and became the governorship candidate of a party. Now, in politics, what is permanent is interest. He's tried it, it didn't work. And he has said to himself, let me build a retreat. And the retreat is coming back to my family. And his family is the All Progressives Congress. And he didn't mince words. He said, look, I am coming to the party not to antagonize anybody, but to also add to the party so that the party will become more robust. He had said that he was going to work with me as chairman of the party. He was going to work with the minister. Some people are saying, okay, now will he say he will work against the minister when the minister is the president's appointee? I don't see, well, most of these things like we're agreeing here are speculations. They have no logic backing them. So Magnus's re-entry to the APC is welcome. It's a welcome development. I have said so. We have said APC has written to him formally to welcome him, and I have said that he's not a political hero.
All right. Interesting. Chief Okocha, we'll come back to you to round off after this break. Quite interesting, statements by the Caretaker Chairman of the All Progressives Congress in Rivers State. Some quotes that we can latch onto. But please stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome now back and rounding off our conversation with Chief Tony Okocha, the Caretaker Chairman of the All Progressives Congress in Rivers State. Chief Okocha, what is the way forward and the solution? Let's put aside the presidential agreement and what happened in Abuja. That has been thrown out the window right now. Former Mr. President, the former President, Dr. Jonathan, is calling on the parties to work together. How can this be achieved?
Well, the onus is on the governor. In the Query Parliament, we say he holds the knife and holds the yam. Okay? Now, we have talked about the presidential peace parley that has broken down. Now, we have also looked at the issues of flagrant disobedience of the law. Will anybody imagine that in this century, that the governor will proclaim a law, what they call executive order, to compel assembly members to come to the the government house to begin to legislate. Come to think of it, how many assembly members? 3 assembly members, so to speak. I'm also aware that even before the imbroglio, before it became public, these assembly members were already suspended. Anybody should go and look at the Hansard of their house. You see that the guys, these three assembly members, 4 of them had been suspended. In fact, it was the meeting of they are sitting on a Monday that they feared that they will use that sitting to impeach the governor, and the governor masterminded the burning of the assembly. And I said this.
You have evidence for that, Chief?
I've said many times. They are not opposing me. I said, if you say you did not mastermind the burning of the... Yes, please. Now follow the argument. You are a governor. You are chief security officer of the state. You had information that an iconic structure housing an organ, an arm of government, the legislative arm, was on fire. And you took a walk to the place, inspected the property, and you came back. Till as we speak, did he set up a panel? What is the result of a panel? Because we would have known if it was by electric spark or by something else. Nigerians and Rivers would have known. But because it is masterminded by the states, no report has come. It is like a murder case or something case like that has anything to do with the system. The report will never come.
All right. Okay, Chief.
All right?
Yeah.
Now,
we have to leave it at that, Chief Okocha. I'm so sorry because of time. We have to leave it at that. Though we here are not in receipt of any concrete evidence, that shows that the governor masterminded. But you're trying to make a case, which we can understand is your right to tell us what you think or what your analysis is, But we don't have that. But Chief Okocha, it's interesting to have had you tonight, on Politics HQ. We're keeping our eyes on the situation in Rivers State, and we'll continue to give you the coverage that it deserves right here on News Central Television. We are for Rivers people, and so you can count on News Central TV anytime. We are your station. Chief Anthony Okocha, Caretaker Chairman of the All Progressives Congress in Rivers State, thank you so very kindly for your time tonight.
Thank you, too, for having me. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And of course, like we earlier said, we have ongoing coverage with our team on ground right there in Port Harcourt, Rivers State. We'll be giving you blow-by-blow analysis and the latest from the Rivers State political conflict. My name is Kofi Bartel. So on behalf of the entire team, those here in our Lagos studios, those on the ground in Port Harcourt, Rivers State, many thanks for your time tonight. See you tomorrow.